All right, hey guys, just gonna do a review of Gomining.com. It's a cloud Bitcoin mining service where you can make these. You make your own miner. It comes out kind of random, different colors, styles, things like that. Um, Here happens to be one of mine where the rarity is in the top 10%. I got a few that are in the top 20% as well. Um, as far as I can tell, this doesn't make any difference to your income. It just means you got a cooler miner. It's more rare, of course. And then ultimately, if you want to, you can sell these. So if you get into the game and you're playing it, you're having fun with it, you're making some money off it, but it's just not quite working out for whatever reason, you could essentially get all of your maybe more investment back by selling your upgraded miners. I'll show you where that is in a minute. Let's go through the basics. Here's your farm. Again, you can buy a bunch of these, or you can buy one and just keep it upgrading. See, I have one here that is 423 terahashes, one that's 30, 22 there, and a four, almost five there. You know, each other one by default is just one. Total creeping up on 500 terahashes per second, blah, blah, blah. But now let's look at the good part, the money. Okay, got a couple things going on this screen. Um, Here is just your basic stats. And everything is either in Bitcoin or Go mining. Let's just change that over to USD so everything's on the same plane. Um, there's two types of reinvestment. One is you can reinvest into computing power. And at this point, it just takes whatever your reward is, it just dumps that into more power. Currently, I'm making about 20 bucks. And as you can see, that $20 gets converted into a little bit more power. There's 41.68, 42.68, not quite a dollar that time. And a lot of this depends on the price of Bitcoin. You can see here it went from $1937 revenue to 2008, well, up to a little bit. Then the next day it went down. That's because even though I had more power, the price of Bitcoin had dropped. This was when it was, I was hovering around 105, give or take. It had dropped down to 100. But overall, Bitcoin will increase. This top line is a different type of reinvestment. This takes your Bitcoin reward and automatically converts it into your Go mining pool, which is right here. I have 73.14. Currently, these things are about 40 cents each. You can just buy them outright with a credit card, debit card, whatever. Um, and so you see here with the electricity, you do not get any deductions for electricity and service from your reward. You see, it's the pool reward, showing that. The pool reward is almost 20. The actual reward into my wallet, or actually into the reinvestment, was the same exact amount. So the 1119 and the full 5 did not come out of the initial or the reward for that day. However, you can see when you convert it to the Go mining, it does. The reason for that is simply here, when you're reinvesting into power, it just takes what you earned for that day and just dumps it right in. This way, and then it takes the coins out of your Go mining account. So in this case, we're looking at about 15. We give or take 15 a day in exchange for about 20 bucks a day. Not the best ratio, but nevertheless, every day we're making a little bit more based on the reinvestment into power. Switching over to this, you actually get a little bit of a discount, so to speak, on the price. I know the miner is whatever reward you have, you get 5% more. With the converting to Go mining, you may not get any difference. But I switch back and forth. I like the power most of all, and I switch over to Go mining conversion. That just beefs up my bank. Do 1 week on, 1 week off. And here's where you can set all that stuff up. You put your maintenance into the Go mining. That's what we were just talking about, and you get up to 20%. I'll show you that in a minute as well. Reward protection, that just makes sure you don't actually owe money at the end of the day. And now here's kind of the breakdown at my current level of whatever that was, 46 something or other terahashes. $20.62 expected for the next round, which equates to about 56, almost 57 tokens. So 1 day of this covers 3 to almost 4 days of your electricity and service charges. So after 1 day, turn this on for 1 day, then you go back to terahash reinvestment for a few days, and then go back to this. I just do it 1 week on, 1 week off. You see if you switch this over, it's showing you'll get 2.18 terahashes, but let me show you the reality there. You got to pick your miner that you want to upgrade. want to pick that kind of cool one that was 10%. I just started that one the other day. Yeah, that's it. You select which miner you want. And now look, that same amount of money, 2165, is now about 1 terahash. Now, the cool thing about this, though, is it's kind of like in the stock market, the compounding interest idea. Every day, your power will go up. And assuming Bitcoin doesn't crash, let's just say Bitcoin stays exactly the same forever. Every day, you're going to have a little bit more power. Your reward will be a little bit more. And in turn, the next day, you'll get a little bit more power than you used to. So 0.98 terahashes today, reinvest that tomorrow, it might be 0.99, maybe 1 full terahash. And then you could probably extrapolate out like every day you get a little bit more power, which means a little bit more reward. But as that power goes up, let's say you get 50% more power over time. Well, now instead of getting 0.98 terahashes, once you get 50% more power, so to speak, you're going to be getting about 1.5 terahashes every day, and so on and so forth. So as the more it grows, the more you'll get every day. I hope that makes sense. Anyway, I'm sticking with Gomining for now, just because I want to bump that up to about 100, and then I'll switch back to the terahash reinvestment. But I mostly did that just to show you exactly how that part of it works, because this confused the heck out of me at first. Like, why am I not getting charged anything? You actually are, just not out of the reward. You charge out of your Gomining wallet. So yeah, so we're looking at 20 bucks total reward. You get about 5 of that, so about 25%. That's not great. But when you step back and say, okay, I don't have to buy anything, my personal electric bill has not gone up at all. I don't have to mess with it. If it overheats, if it does happen to break, Gomining takes care of all of that, which is, I think, is pretty cool. And so I think that's, I'd like to see that go up more percentage wise. I'm happy with it. I've been playing with it for a while. I mean, at the end of the day, it's making revenue. I'm still under. I've invested actual dollars to get up to, I think it's probably like 425 or so is what I technically paid for. And since then, it's been all this reinvestment. So still paying for it through reinvestment, but you do get a 5% bonus. So anyway, that's what it looks like for me. Just a few other things. I mean, this is kind of the same screen we just saw, it's based only on the rewards. It doesn't talk about overtime or anything. And then here, oh, I don't have anything selling, but let's look at the marketplace. Okay, my bad. We got to go to the miner section. Okay, so here you are. You can buy any of these. You can see the price. It gives you the per terahash price. Look at that, 90, almost 100 bucks per terahash. That's crazy to me. It should be closer to 20 per terahash. See, 20. See, again, if you do have a cool super rare miner, you might get, I think this guy's going a little crazy on it, but best of luck to him. But yeah, no doubt you can, if you got a neat miner, build it up in terahashes, sell it for a profit, start a new one if you want to. I don't plan on doing that. I might, but no, I'm just keeping my farm for me. And I actually did buy one a while ago just to see what it was. That's this guy. It's nice and gold and pretty. One thing to note, if you buy a miner, it comes with its own power, and you can, of course, upgrade it as well. It shows you how much the watts per terahash has the efficiency. You really want that to be as low as possible, which you can also improve upon just through the upgrade process if you want to. But anyway, this 30 terahashes, it is counted in my total. But when we come over here, where's that at? Maybe it's here. It is a little confusing sometimes to get around here. No, that's not it. I forget what I was looking for. Anyway, I'll find it later, maybe add to this, but that 30 terahashes, when it comes to things like your rewards, your VIP status, you can go from bronze to silver, gold to platinum, so, ultimate, more and more and more and more, you get more benefits, more bonuses, more discounts. And again, that discount can go up to like 20%. So right now I'm about a third of that, a little less than a third of that. As I add more Gomining through the reinvestment, this discount will increase all the way up to 20%. And there are other things that can add to discounts too. If you see right now, I'm getting about 1% just from this, but my total is 6.25%. There's other places you can bonus from. We'll talk about that in a minute. I'm sorry, I did not plan this out. I didn't make a script. I'm just kind of running through. Okay, let's talk about liquidity. So you can deposit to be liquid. This basically puts yours in the pool with everybody else. It's still yours. You can take it back out, but it's helping out other people, so to speak. And as such, you get a little extra bonus if you choose to go down this right route. A couple other options here. I don't really get into this too much, so I'm not super familiar with exactly how it works. But ultimately, I think it's a good thing. I'm going to test it out. Maybe I'll make another video specifically about that. Similarly, we have this governance tokenomics, which is pretty cool. There's some stats, but here's the page that's important. Again, I have not done this yet. I'm going to get paid on Friday, and I'm going to probably dump half my paycheck is what I have budgeted right now for that. And what's going on here is, I just missed it. Let's calculate. Here's what happens. So if you put in this just default example, 100,000 Go mining, which at currently 35 to 40 cents. Do the math. So we're, whatever that would be, like whatever, about a third of 100,000. That's $3,000, give or take. Okay, now I'm waking up. Now that's way too much for me to put in at any one chunk. But let's just say, let's make it a little more reasonable. 20. Yes, leave it at 20 for now. Or we can just put it on in there. Let's say let's just say $1,000 for easy math. So we want about 333 Go mining, right? Anyway, we can do all the math backwards out as long as we want. Okay, so what's going on here? You put this amount of Go mining tokens into a lock. You can lock it for a week, which gets you next to nothing, all the way up to max. I'm not sure what that is, but I'm assuming it's more than 3 years because of the difference in APR. But check this out. So if you lock this money for 1 year, 7, almost 8%. 2 years, you're getting 15, almost 16%. If you lock for 3 years, you're getting 24% return. This is based on current data. Things will change over time. That APR will go up and down. It's not expected to fluctuate that much. Going back to the stock market comparison, in an average year, you take like a 10-year average. Sometimes the stock market tanks, sometimes it does great, but on average, stock market gets 8 to 10% per year. We're talking like S&P 500, some of the bigger, essentially safer stocks. But you can expect 8 to 10% a year on average. So we're getting, 2 to 3 times that is what they're projecting if we leave it locked for 3 years. So no different than if you put $1,000 in the stock market and just let it sit for 3 years. So you don't get to touch your 333 Go mining tokens in this case. I did that math backwards, didn't I? I need 3,000 to be about $1,000 total dollars. Anyway, same percentage. And it just shows you your weekly reward. You're going to get 13 more every week. And it just for letting it sit there. And you get 24%. So that means if you put in 3,000 Go mining, about $1,000 every year, you will have an additional $240 in Go mining tokens. So you just get this every week, no matter what. I think it comes out on Tuesday. And of course, you can lock for less and just have a smaller APR. You can do it for a week just to see how it works. Put $1,000 in 1 week, is showing you'll get 0.04 Go mining every week. That's, in my opinion, not enough to even lock this for a day. But it's an easy way. It's a short time frame that you can see exactly how it works. Again, on my plan, when I get paid this week, I'm going to dump some money in here for the 3-year period and just let it roll. Normally, when I get paid, I buy some stock. But this time around, I'm going to use that same amount of money and buy Go mining token, lock it, and just see how it works. But yeah, it's a pretty cool system. Launchpad, that's brand new. I have not messed with this at all, so I'm not even going to try to pretend like I know what I'm talking about. And then there's, leaderboards. You can see, all your co-miners, I guess. And there's me, 2567 ranking. I think that's neat, whatever. And there's miner wars. This is something else I don't do, just because it is fun, but it takes time. I'm not in the position where I want to, play the games in order to get a little bit more Bitcoin or, watch ads like some of the apps do in exchange for, dollars or Bitcoin or whatever. I don't do that, but it's cool. Explore it if you want to. We're going back to the kind of the basics. When you first open up your account, totally free, you get this bonus miner. And see, 0 days on mine, but every now and again they come out with something that will give you extra days of this. 16 terahashes when you straight out of the gate. I think you got 1 day, and then you can do some of these tasks. And here's the list of tasks that I've already done, and you can see it's like you add 1 day of mining for doing this. You do a quiz, you get another day. Somewhere down here was okay 5. You make your first miner. Costs about $25. We'll look at that in a second. You get plus 5 days of your 16 terahash miner. But see, and then you upgrade, you get 5 more days. And you'll get 5. You do not get 5 days every time you upgrade. It may just be that first time. But then again, they do come back out. I don't know if it's every couple of weeks, every month or something, with a few more tasks where you can just watch a couple of videos, take a course, which the courses are pretty cool also. If you don't know anything, or even if you're pretty savvy on Bitcoin and crypto, the courses are great just for that. And of course, you get your extra mining days. But yeah, so you get the 16 terahashes no matter what. You keep it alive through these tasks, and if you want to, that's all you got to do. I mean, it'll go to 0, for maybe a week or two until they come out with maybe some new. There's a new video series coming out for. They claim it's going to make Gomining make more sense. That's like a simple explanation. I'm looking forward to that because that's supposed to add. I think it's 5 days. If you go through, we're talking about maybe 4 or 5 10-minute videos. So I mean, it takes an hour. And of course, you can just listen while you're doing something else on your phone or computer. So that's pretty cool. Without spending a dime, you got 16 terahashes. I'm going to say it's probably 10% of the time when you count the number of bonus days you get on a regular basis, along with the days that it runs out. You don't have the opportunity. But anyway, the point is you get the free stuff, but you also want to buy your own. Let's go through that process. I'm not actually going to buy this one. I'm not up for it. But you buy your basic 1 terahash miner, a miner with 1 terahash in it, $24. $24 per terahash. It's about the same math all the way down, but you can essentially do as much as you want. Spend $122,000 right now if you wanted to. And you can see the ROI as you get more terahashes. The ROI is better and better and better, a little bit better, but 30%. There we're talking again, same idea. Off of $500, that's going to be $15 more a year because of that 30 ROI versus 28 is a little bit less. You can also do recurring, and you see here's $40 for almost 2 terahashes. So now we're talking about $20 per terahash. That's the lowest I've ever seen. Use my French. But anyway, check it out. Do your research, of course. And honestly, I'm doing this for one of the bonus miner tasks. Just give a review of Gomining. I think they want it to be a minute, but I'm just verbally vomiting on you. So you could probably have stopped this by now. I don't know. There's much less to talk about. We can go to the wallet. Pretty standard wallet. Just shows you what you got. I try to keep a minimal amount in this account, just because I'd rather use it than just have it sitting here. With the exception of what I'm going to do when I get paid is the Gomining. I'm going to end up with a bunch of Gomining tokens, but a lot of that will be locked in order to get that 25%, almost give or take APR. And then you can see, just your transactions. Here's what happened. You get the reinvestments, blah, blah, blah. All those details you can kind of see. You can definitely see them all right here. Back to your dashboard. Yeah, I think that's it. I mean, there's a bunch of other stuff, of course, referral programs, bounty programs, all these other different things. You get Go boxes like every time you level up. And that comes with anywhere from, let's look at one that's the bottom of the level one. Here's what, of course, it's not, the site's not working. You must know I'm trying to do something here. Anyway, let's see what happens. Refresh. Fingers crossed. Okay. So that's what it looks like. It's just an NFT. But here are your options. Here are your possibilities of what's inside that box. Rare, rare, rare. An 8 terahash miner, that would be one that you would get forever. Same with all these other things. 15 bonus miner days. A 4 miner. And you just scroll through. You can see all the possible rewards. And then, of course, once you pass bronze level, you go to silver, gold. And then, of course, each one of these boxes has different things. So yes, I mean, once you get up to this level, and that's like, you need like 1,000 terahashes total or something. Don't quote me on that. You look it up yourself. But yeah, ultimately you can get to this kind of a prize. And of course, I would always assume If you're doing any forward projections, let's assume the minimum prize, but you will get something on that list. Raffles. Oh yeah, raffles. This is cool. Let's see. There's just almost constantly. There's one or two, maybe three raffles. This one down here is for ambassadors. Um, I'm not doing that thing yet, so I really can't speak to it. But it's another thing that just gives you a little bit extra bonus in exchange for, possibly doing extra work, on your own, like looking at things or helping out, or putting more into the system itself, whether that's, actual depositing cash or doing the reinvestment into the Go mining tokens. Nevertheless, for this particular raffle, sometimes they just pop up and you got like a day, and sometimes they're a week. And the way this does is just you have to physically join. When you first get to this page, you'll say join now instead of upgrade. But now what happens is every time you upgrade any one of your miners, for every 20 bucks, which is about 1 terahash, you'll get like one ticket. I have 4 for this particular round. By tomorrow, I'll see if I won anything. In the past, I've won like a 22 terahash miner or something like that. I've won a couple things. They're pretty decent. And of course, that was, back when I spent a little bit more money up front to get things going. And these 4 tickets I got not from actual dollars, but from I used my Go mining tokens to buy the upgrades that ultimately got me the 4 tickets. So it is still your money. It's just not coming out of your bank account. It's just self-funding itself. And so my plan on this is just let it self-fund itself. It'll be 100% reinvestment, either terahashes or the Go mining token reinvestment for a long time. I just want to see this thing grow and grow and grow. And my ultimate goal for my retirement is to have a total of $200 a day profit coming in. And of course, that's going to take a while to do, especially if all I'm doing is reinvesting and getting that one, then maybe 1.01, 1.03 terahashes every day. Ultimately, that terahash number will jump up by 2, 3, 4, 5. Unlimited is what it seems. The more terahashes you already have, the more rewards you make, so the more you're able to reinvest into the power. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking at quite a few years for sure, but it'll happen. And then once it happens, assuming Bitcoin doesn't totally crash or the world doesn't end, that will just be money coming in. No different than if you had that much terahashes worth of physical mining at your house, but you'd also be extra electric bill and whatnot. And also look at the electric cost if you are doing your own home mining with devices. I got a couple Avalon F3Ss, a couple BitXs. And they're fun to play with, but it's not feasible to keep adding and adding to that in order to make the amount of money that I'm looking to ultimately. So that's why a cloud mining service like Go Mining is awesome. I think then that's probably not it. I'm just not remembering. There's other things in here. Of course, referral program, which I'll put my referral link down there. And I think if you use someone's referral link, you get a little bonus, like an extra day or two on the bonus miner. Maybe, don't quote me on that. Those rules may have changed. And then I get, like a little percent of any time you buy something. So whatever. I mean, just use my referral link. If you got a friend, use someone's referral link, because you will get a little bit more if you use someone else's referral link. And then the person, of course, that referred you will get a little something every time you buy, like a $20 upgrade in Terahash. I think I might get $1 worth of something, maybe. I don't know the exact percent, but it's in that range. And yeah, that's a lot longer than I expected to go with all this stuff, but yeah, Go Mining, it's in my opinion, it's pretty good. I've looked into it. The company's solid. It's been around for a while. One thing that's kind of neat, I forget where you can see this, but somewhere you can watch live mining. Oh, yeah, right at the top. Not terribly exciting. But yeah, you can make it play. That's a live view of your terahashes and mine and everybody else's. And they do have a few farms: South Carolina, Texas, South Carolina, Washington, South Carolina again. I think we've seen the same ones, but so they're spread out. They're getting great energy rates. Mine here in my part of the town is like 11 cents per kilowatt hour, which is insane. I'm with my home miners, I'm barely squeaking out like $1 or $2 a month. Excuse me. So anyway, cloud mining to me is the way to go. So check it out. If you're at all interested, please use my referral link. You'll get the bonus miner for an extra day in addition to the couple videos you can watch. You don't have to spend a dime to see how it works. And then, of course, you can spend, as little as $23.99 to make your first miner. Of course, the more you spend, the more of a quote unquote discount you get. And then similarly with the upgrades, pretty good. And then if you do it recurring, not just every first of the month, I'm going to dump $40 into it, you do get a fair discount for doing that as well. So yeah, so I've said this a couple times, but this will be the last. So you'll have a good day. Check out Gomining. And yeah, I mean, drop me a note if you have an opinion about it, or if you get into it because of this video and you have thoughts, or you discovered something that maybe I didn't cover here. Because again, I'm not totally into all the things like miner wars. I haven't done the governance yet, but that's the basic idea of everything. And as always, don't just dive in because I told you to, because I made all these screenshots and everything else. Do your own research first. But fortunately, with the Gomining system, you can get started completely for free with that 16 bonus miner and just see how the whole thing works. See if you want to throw a couple bucks at it once in a while. Anyway, last time for real, I'm gonna hit the thanks, guys.